Okay, then, let me go over my calculations real quick. Okay, so I went 0-5 last week, and I now owe, multiply, interest, high interest loan to local mob shock. Huh. Jimmy, we're selling your teeth. Na 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 na. Greetings and welcome to Lucky Week 13 of the BPFFL. We are 1 week away from the playoffs, and yet sadly, two of our brethren will not be joining us in the playoffs. Let us give a moment of silence for Team Snake-a-Puss and the Eden Extractors. I will remember you. Will you remember me? Long enough. Here come this week's picks. We're going to start right off with a match that on paper looks like nothing, but if you read between the lines, it's everything. It's the Scobeyville Senators going up against the Eden Extractors. Last week, the Senators pulled off a great upset and ended the Slaughterhouse's comeback to a 5-game streak. And in doing so, have not only secured their place in the playoffs, but they're the ones directly responsible for setting up the win-loss records that have eliminated the Extractors. Yeah. And funny that, the Extractors get to come in and face them in Week 13. Now, for those of you playing along at home, this is what's known as revenge. A nasty, naughty little emotion that can run out of control like a wildfire. And true, the Extractors will get the number 2 pick next year. They can rest their hat on that next year they'll do better. But right now, they can gun for the Senators looking for revenge. But sadly, that revenge isn't coming because the Senators are coming into the playoffs hot, very hot, to the point where my pants are on fire. Call me a liar. Senators over Extractors by 22. Up next, we have a match that's going to be an attraction for sure. It is the Irving A-Holes going up against Team Snake-a-Puss. Now, I feel bad for Snake-a-Puss. They were the first ones knocked out of contention this past weekend. And I do like the fact that they're going to pick number 1 next year because I think they're going to make a really smart pick. And there's going to be a lot of talent coming up. So the field's going to be theirs. But until then, they're stuck in a program this week that not everyone's too excited about because it's the only cross-divisional. Doesn't really affect anything. So I'm not sure where I'm going with this. So, yeah, A-Holes by 14. Fingers keep slipping. It's all the KY jelly. Up next, we're going to have a classic Central grudge match as the Gowanda Thunder go up against the Rich Road Roughnecks. Now, this past week, the Thunder and the Terror have engaged in what is certainly the biggest trade of the season, possibly one of the biggest of all time, and it paid off for the Thunder in droves, allowing them to knock off the Dokies. Facing them are the Roughnecks, a team that is poised for playoff domination and looking to become this year's champions. I see this one as a knuckle-dragging, blood-letting, pick up your club, me Tarzan, you Jane, me bonk bonk on head kind of a match. And when it comes to bonking people on the head, nothing is better at getting over your head than the Thunder. Clouds in the sky, lightning crashing all around, and the sound of impending doom coming for the Roughnecks. Thunder over Roughnecks by 3. You still numb on Novocaine, Jim? Can I punch you in the jaw? Just once? No? Oh well. Old you used to be fun. Up next, we have Steinhoff Slaughterhouse going up against the High Die Hangman. Hangman were the first in the door to hang their hat on championships. They are the undisputed regular season global division champions. And the Slaughterhouse, I give them credit, turned a 6-game losing streak into a 5-game winning streak. But all that is ended. And right now, these are two teams that may or may not tangle again. So you just know deep down, they're itching to have this little grudge match to see who really is the big boss going into the playoffs. Well, I looked over the figures and guess what, Slaughterhouse? It ain't you! Hangman didn't lose no 6 in a row. So Hangman is going to win by the exact number of games you've won so far. 5. Choke on him. And finally, we have the biggest match of the entire 2021's regular season. It is the OP Dokies going up against the Taylor Hollow Terror. Now, this is where things get really interesting because the Central Division regular season championship is on the line, and one of these two teams is going to walk away champion. It all depends on who wins. For real. Check this out. The Terror are 10-2. The Dokies are 9-3. If the Terror wins, no big whoop. They're the champs. Give them the crown. They've earned it. But if the Dokies win, they become the champs because their regular season record is a tie. Their division records will be a tie. Their face-to-face records will be a tie. More ties than a Father's Day around here. But let me tell you what's not going to change. The Dokies have scored more points. And with a victory, the Dokies can take the crown. But there's also a matter of an actual tie, which favors the Terror. By that, and by their experience, as white-hot as the Dokies have been, I'm giving this one to the Terror by 3 ties. Points. I meant to say points. 3 points. Well, that's all we got for this week's show. It is going to be a barn burner. And next week we're... Did you hear that?